watching Miami go for the three right away. Just attack the basket. James catches, puts up a three. Won't go. Rebound Bosh. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang! Tie game with 5 seconds remaining.
Welcome to the Ultimate Super Coach and Fantasy Sports Show. You are now listening to the Insight Fantasy Sports Podcast.
Boom shakalaka!
Yes, welcome back. You're watching an Insight NBA2K show where we talk all things ANZPL, and my God, there is a lot of ANZPL to talk about. I'm the SC Brain, and as always, I'm with the big horse, Mickey Dell. Some good 2K being played, mate.
Oh, the cream rises to the top this time of the season, doesn't it? You got the best of the best fighting it out for the first chip of this season, but more importantly, the first championship that will be one that's being televised to the rest of the world.
Yeah, looking forward to that. That'll be fun. We'll talk a little bit at the end of the show about what our plans are for the big grand final. But guys, today's show is always brought to you by Ryan from Astute Newstead and the Standard Squeeze. So on today's show, a little bit of a different one. We're going to be covering the semi-finals and the conference finals in the one episode. We're going to be going through box scores for each of those as well. We're going to show the scorecards and dive into them in a little bit more depth than what we would normally do. We're going to talk league leaders, I should say, for stats for season 1. So that's exciting. We're going to talk about the guys that top the charts in each category. And we're going to preview grand final week. Yeah, we are. Yeah, good. Just lost my way on the notes there for a second. Yeah, so we'll talk grand final week. We'll give you our predictions on how we think it's all going to go, who's going to play the pivotal roles in the grand final. But, mate, lastly, before we dive into the player stats, we need to give Junkie a shout-out again, don't we?
Yeah, we do. He's helped out so many 2K players this year, hasn't he? So for those of you that are looking to get your badges grinded, hit up Junkie on X. JXNKIE. Hit him up. You drop our Insight name to him and he gives you 20% off all goods and services thanks to the guys here at Insight Fantasy Sports and thanks to Junkie.
What a legend.
How
many builds you made?
Too many. I think I've stopped at about 6.
Okay. Yeah. I think I'm at 6 or 7 at the moment and I can't be fucked. Honestly, going and grinding builds and stuff. Like, I don't like being shit either. I mean, my skills aren't anywhere near ANZPL level, but I don't like having a build that has minimal badges on it, even if it's rebirth. So Junkie will sort us out. He'll look after you. Get your builds maxed and jump in the wreck in the ANZPL with confidence.
Here's a hot tip. Get your rebirth so you can get it straight to 90 and you can get the acceleration on your badges so he gets it done in half the time as well.
What a man. He's a good bloke. Thanks, Junkie, for supporting the show. Now, mate, let's dive in and talk player stats very quickly because there's a, we should be shouting out the guys that are the top performers of the season 1 or season 8 of the ANZPL. No real surprise, is it, that Flametto was the leading point scorer? We've talked about him a fair bit and he started red hot, didn't he?
Yeah, not when you score near on 1 million points in a game. So when someone's cracking 100 points in a game, they're going to be the top or near the top when it comes to points per game. So congratulations to Flamento for winning the scoring title, so to speak. Jeff Pope, our boy Jeffy, coming in second there with 26.5. RP Jig, 25. Hikaru, who played well in a team that struggled, 24.6. And Bandito, we sung his praises a bit throughout the year and was a player of the week winner at one stage there, 23.5 points for lost cause.
Yep. Yeah. Well done to those 5 guys to top the charts in the points category. Hey, and we know this year it hasn't been easy to score. The locks have been dominant. We've talked about it all week, all month, really, that it's been tough for point guards. So these guys have done well. Full shout out to them. And how about rebounds, mate? Your brother topping it, 17.2 rebounds.
Yeah, the second best Delaney on 2K. So with 17.2 rebounds, he does take out the rebounding title. V-Rome, not too far behind him with 16.6. Agro, a nice comeback season after having a couple of seasons off at the back end of last year. 16.1 boards. The Horsey boy, love that man, from our Kiwi brothers over the ditch, 15.4. And Girk, who was a player of the week winner as well, with 15.4. as we can see there, I'm just going to dive into blocks and steals a little bit combined. So blocks in previous years gone by, there's been players that have averaged 2.5, 2.8 blocks a game. But to see 5 players equal on 1.1 blocks per game just goes to show that it's not so much blocks that are the central point behind the defense. It's the challenger. It's your positioning on defense. And as you can see with the steals with Jono, 4.3, and Air Champ, who's a young up-and-coming lock who's doing wonders with what he's doing with 4, it's you're stripping the ball or you're playing good D. It's not necessarily blocks that are getting the job done this season.
Yeah. The locks are doing all the work, or not all the work, but most of it, aren't they? And we're seeing that the rebound numbers are up compared to previous seasons for obvious reasons, because it's been hard to score the ball. So, plenty to take from this season, and I'm sure there'll be some adjustments made for season 9 when the boys come back before Christmas.
Yeah.
I must say I played against Caruso AC or AGC in the rec. I think, when was it? A few nights ago, and fuck, he clamped the shit out of me. So well done to him. Not a big ask from him. I'm not amazing by any standard, but he made it tough. So well done to him. He was third, I think, 3.6 steals per game with Gideon. So well done.
Yep.
Mate, assists. You said it. That if your point guard gets 10 assists, 80% of the time you're winning these games, and it looks like with Hoppy and Deli Fruit leading the way with 9.9 assists per game, pretty close to 10.
Yep, and I think you'll see with our score reviews that we do later on in the show that I think it's every game where someone gets over 10 assists, they win the game. So the proof's in the pudding with our stats and our thinking behind that. So to Hoppy and Deli Fruit, well done on winning the assist title there, being joint winners at 9.9. Richie, Blade, and Box round out the top 5 there. Now, I want to ask you, is it coincidental when we're talking field goal percentage that the top 5 in field goal percentage are all centers?
No, of course it's not. Closer to the rim.
Yep.
A lot of them, I don't know, you correct me if I'm wrong here, but the majority aren't poppers. Majority are insides. I think Croc shoots. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Tries to.
But
yeah.
80% is elite. I mean, even the rest of the guys, Horsey and Baby Macman and Strictly Mozzo, like 77 up is quality. So well done to those guys. That's massive.
Yeah, for sure.
But no coincidence you're going to see that the field goal percentage leaders are going to be bigs. I think we'll probably continue to see that just based on how hard it has been to score for the Smalls this year. And 3-point percentage, we're talking about Bandito after his second or third week, I think it was, when he took out the player of the week. He averaged 76% from 3. So he's continued that through the whole season, which is a massive effort. Considering how hard it has been to score, well done to these 5 guys, Bandito, Baldino, Harry, Jamie, and Guap Smoke. Massive 3-point percentage there.
So Baldino, he probably only averages 3 or 4 shots a game, but he makes it count. As we can see there, he's hitting 2 of every 3 threes that he's taking. Bandito, one of the better, if not the best, 2 in the game alongside Harry, now that he's playing the 2. Jexme and Guap Smoke, they're both over 50%, which we all know in this game, at this level, that's commendable shooting that sort of percentage.
Very, very high standard. So well done to the guys, the league leaders. Awesome effort. We'll look forward to seeing how next year looks, or how season 9 looks before we hit the end of the year. Mm-hmm. Now, we can move on, can't we, to let's talk semi-finals. Let's rip into these, because there were obviously 4 semi-final matchups, and we'll start with the Goons versus the Dinosaurs. And would you call it an upset, or would you say it isn't? Because I probably saw Goons taking this out, and Dinosaurs have pipped them.
Yep, so did I. I'm happy to eat humble pie here, and I actually tipped the Goons to beat the Dinosaurs in this one, but they've come out and give old Big Horse the big proverbial and gone 2-0 against the Goons. So as we can see here, the key for any team, it seems, is defense and minimizing the opposition's open looks. Game 1 saw the Dinosaurs jump out of the gates, leading at halftime 25-20. From here, they were never really troubled, running out winners 48-39. In this game, we see Ranger Man with a double-double. In the win, 12-10, the clear standout. Both teams going a combined 13 of 39 from 3-point range in this game, though, which highlights, as we just said, how good it was that we've got the top 5 in 3-point percentage, all over 50%.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of confirms, doesn't it, that the trend has been season long.
For sure. Game 2, as we can see here, was much closer, with Dinosaurs holding a 21-19 2-point lead at halftime. The Goons slowly started chipping away at the lead in a back-and-forth contest, only trailing by 1 at three-quarter time. Dinosaurs then came home with the momentum, outscoring the Goons by 5 in the last to record a 42-36 victory. It's Vesey with 18 points from the sharp position leading the way for the Dinosaurs. Big series win by these guys. Good work.
Massive. Well done, Dinosaurs. We'll preview, obviously, their conference final as well very soon. So, mate, let's move on to game 2. We've got Exy and Phantom here in this one. Probably the result you would expect.
Yeah, and again, happy to eat humble pie. I tipped Phantom in an upset here 2-1, but Exy have just shown their class here and just gone, yep, we're one of the big dogs of the competition and proved it, rightfully so here. So for me, I was probably expecting a little bit of a closer series, but that never really eventuated, given that right out of the gate, Exy just took control. So in game 1, as we can see here, Exy powered out to a 31-10 halftime lead and were never troubled, cruising to a 53-32 win. Dollar and Jay Cheng, controlling the game on the offensive end, with Matty V sneaking 5 steals in the comfortable win. Max for the Phantom going 0 for 10 for the floor and almost being graded didn't help the cause. But I don't think it's as much as a inefficient game by Max, but it was good defense by Matty V, who really stepped up his intensity on the defensive end in this one. Yeah,
that's the thing that stands out for me. You've got Jay Cheng that shoots 5 from 8 from 3, and you've got then Max who shoots 0 from 10, basically. So the locks were the difference in this one. So well done to Matty and Exy. How'd we go game 2? Kind of a similar result here, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But game 2 saw the Phantom jump out to a 12-11 quarter time lead. So they managed to, I guess, start with a little bit of momentum. But then Exy, as we can see here in the second quarter, used a 16-3 run to really blow this game apart. They ended up winning this one 52-39. Everyone contributed to the win in this one for Exy. Ryland with the most influential 0-point performance that you're ever going to see. This guy is unbelievable at anchor. I really like watching this guy play.
Mate, when you don't have to take a shot and you still win by 13, and I think, you see the scorecard and you go, 7 boards, 1 block, no shots. You probably think, okay, pretty ordinary, but you know that there's such a pivotal role that anchor plays in this game. So props to him. Shout out to Max, though. It could have been very easy after game 1 for him to come out and kind of crack the shits and go, this game's fucked and the shooting's broken and, make all the excuses in the world. But he's come out and he shot 7 from 11, 5 from 7 from 3 and top the game with 21 points. It's, full credit to him for the little comeback there in game 2. It just wasn't enough. His team just didn't go with him.
No, that's right. And Croc going 0 from 4 from 3 after he shot almost 80% on the season. They've done well to lock him up, so to speak. I'll look forward to watching the Phantom come back next year. Hopefully they stick together because they are a good side. But what was interesting for me and caught my eye, so I watched this series, and you did too, is that Matty V decided to jump in the chat of the Phantom at the end of the game and just remind the guys who was the superior player on the day. I found that quite interesting.
Saw that. Saw him jump into the little Twitch chat. I know Croc was streaming that night, and he decided to come in and just remind them of their skill level. So that was... interesting tactics.
I'll leave it to the community. Is that a power move or is it a flog move? Comment, let us know on X. Let us know what you think of that.
Yeah, let us know in the comments what you think about that.
Yeah,
because I have a feeling it might divide the community a little bit.
I think it might.
But each to their own. Own. All right, mate, let's move on to No Way Out and Clinic. This one, you know what? You said that Clinic were going to get swept, and you were spot on. So this is the first time you've ever got anything right in your life. Congratulations. Talk us through this one, because the first game was pretty tight, but when you look at the scorecard, the fourth quarter, the Clinic have buried themselves in this one.
Wow, they absolutely shit the bed and choked worse than Greg Norman years and years ago. So in our show last week, I did tip the NWO to sweep the Clinic, but I didn't expect it to happen like this. What a comeback by NWO in game 1. So game 1 saw the Clinic jump out to a 27-21 point halftime lead with Dr. Hamo and Jake the Shake. Jake and Bake, Jake and Shake, Oi Shake, whatever you want to call him, really playing well offensively. By the end of the third, the Clinic were up 32. So 11 points up. But a barnstorming finish in the fourth saw NWO outscore the Clinic 20-7 to win this one, 52-50. Yeah, Harry and Delay leading the comeback in this one.
Well done to those. Well done to No Way Out. Well done to Delay, Harry, Golden Dunk, Baldino, Kristaps. Like that's a serious effort to come back from 11 down to win by 2 at the end there. I must admit, maybe I'm the choke, because I started watching this game at 3/4 time and I hopped in and I go, fuck, the Clinic could actually knock off NWO here. And as soon as I started watching, the comeback began. So apologies to Hamo and the crew there, because I think I've cooked them. But this was game 1, mate. Game 2, very different story.
And you know what? Knowing Hamo, he's probably going to blame you as well. So we'll see
That's
how
fine.
that
He
goes.
can do that.
Yeah. Game 2, almost a bit of an anticlimax, wasn't it? So to speak. And it looked like it just took the wind out of the sails of the Clinic with NWO, easily winning game 2, 73-47. Everyone on NWO played their role in this one, whilst Dr. Hamo, after a slow start, was really the only one to get anything going offensively, finishing with 18 points. So as we can see there, we're speaking about Baldino and his shooting percentages. He takes one shot, he makes one shot. That's his role that he's there to play. He does it well.
Yep. We when we put the polls out at the start before the season kicked off, we had Harry at point guard and Delay at shooting guard, didn't we? And they both took out their categories and everybody said, yeah, these guys are the elite. We're going to have to swap them, aren't we? Because Harry's been playing sharp all season and Delay's now taking the point, and he's done a great job with it.
Yeah, and after speaking to Harry, the switch has been made because he's now with our Australian team. He's going to be playing sharp in that team. So he's getting accustomed to playing the 2 position, and he is doing a good job of it. It is a learning experience for him, used to having the ball in his hands predominantly all the time. So, yeah, I see good things in future or in store for Harry.
Exciting. Keep an eye out for the rest of the season. We won't ruin the second result just yet. Now, tell me what happened here, because I don't have scorecards for Ruthless first team lockup, and correct me if I'm wrong here, did they get the exemption to not only get another player but push the semi-final back outside of the time?
They did. And then we got word that they forfeited. So Ruthless win the series 2-0. There's been no word in the community as to what's going on. It's been kept a bit quiet. So if anyone knows what's happened, feel free to hit us up in our DMs. If you don't feel confident enough to comment below in front of your peers, let us know via Twitter and fill us in, because we genuinely have no idea what's going on here. And we've gone to look for game film. We've gone to write up something about this game, and there's absolutely nothing. So is it because Milo got drafted? And congratulations to Milo, someone that came on our show earlier this season, and we spoke about the process and what it took to make the big leagues. And here we are a week or so after being selected. So congratulations. Is it because he's gone now, or we don't know? So if anyone knows, let us know, please.
That would be great. But anyway, Ruthless win. So well done to them for turning up. Yeah. Now let's look at playoff tree. This is basically where we ended with the semi-finals. So we've got Ruthless, we've got Dinosaurs with probably what I'd call an upset. We've got No Way Out, and we've got Exy going through to the conference finals. So conference finals, Ruthless are going to take on the Dinosaurs, and we've got No Way Out versus Exy, and there were some absolutely cracking matchups here in this one, wasn't there?
Oh, wasn't there? Some really elite 2K basketball being played here.
100%. Now, mate, before we kind of dive into these games and have a little bit of a chat about how this all played out, we need to give Ryan from Astute Newsted a shout out. You know, he does support the show and we love his work, and we've worked with him personally. And guys, for anybody who is looking to looking to get into the housing market, if you're currently in the market and you're looking to drop your interest rate, maybe, did I hear right that the cash rate's gone up again as of yesterday?
Again. And likely to go up again before the end of the year. Yep.
Things are getting tough. And you know, as soon as we saw this starting to happen, my wife and I, we went and we hit Ryan up and we said, hey, give us a hand. We need to try and lock something in. We need to get a solid rate so that we're not going to get hurt over the next year, 18 months. And we're very lucky we did that. And Ryan helped us and made that process super easy. So you need to go and hit Ryan up if you're in that kind of realm and you're looking to solidify your interest rate or drop that or get into the market yourself. So you can hit Ryan up on Instagram at Ryan Astute Newsted, or you can give him an email at ryanh@eganwealth.com, and he will look after you. No obligation as well. He'll just have a chat with you about your circumstance, and he'll give you an idea on what your options are, and then you choose where you want to go from there, and it won't cost you a thing, which is awesome.
It is awesome. It doesn't cost you anything. And the best part about it, we can talk percentages and interest rates and all that sort of stuff. But when we're talking money-wise, it saved me thousands of dollars this year.
Yeah, me and my missus were doing the math, and I think it ended up saving us closer to 10 than 5 if we didn't go down that road. So thanks to Ryan.
That's
for
how
helping
good
us
this
out.
guy is. Yep.
100%. Does the work for you. You don't have to fucking negotiate with the big banks either. Fucking wankers. So
Yes, they are.
More than happy to let Ryan have to do the hard work for me. Now, mate, let's get on to conference finals. This matchup, Ruthless versus Dinosaurs, we didn't get to 3, unfortunately. We did have a forfeit game 3, which showed how dominant Ruthless were through this series.
Yeah, 100%. So it's given how poorly the started season for Ruthless, haven't they come together in the back end of this season and into finals, winning the ODC that was there a couple of weeks ago, and they're really starting to put the league on notice. So as we can see here, in game 1, Ruthless jumped out to 28-18 lead at halftime. A nice run by Dinosaurs in the third, gave them a bit of a sniff, only trailing by 4 going into the last. In what was a back and forth last quarter, Ruthless reigned supreme, grinding out a 5-point win, 53-48. Gideon with 4 steals and Farage with a 14-11 game leading the way. Blitzar with 20-14 worked his ass off inside, but ultimately wasn't enough for the Dinosaurs.
Yep. Game 1, I wouldn't call it convincing by any means. It was back and forth the whole way. But well done to Ruthless for game 1. What happened in game 2, mate? Probably a little bit more of a disparity there in the score.
Yeah, it definitely was. And I think this is what led to the forfeit in game 3. But game 2 was much the same, with Ruthless jumping out to a 31-18 halftime lead. This time, however, Ruthless didn't allow Dinosaurs a sniff, running away 16-point winners, 57-41. We both watched this game, and Farage just did whatever the fuck he wanted to do. He was brilliant with 13, 23, and 8, and just doing as he pleased.
Dominated inside, didn't he? I like to, when I'm watching games, swap between teams just to hear the comms and just to hear what's going on in the chat and things like that. Ruthless communication was on point. These guys communicate so well on defense. They switch well. They stack well. You know, like everything that you normally would expect from a good 2K team, these guys do in spades. So full credit to them. Their comms are on point. I know that the Dinosaurs guys were pretty unhappy with some of the animations that Farage was getting inside. I think he got blocked on a pump fake once, and there are a couple of other questionable ones. But hey, that's part of the game. You got to cop that.
Yep. You got to remember that the guys on the other end of the controls have no control over that, and you've just got to play to the conditions. So
just get. You know what you can do. You can get Croc to just send a message to Ronnie 2K and just say, "What the fuck? Sort this stuff." And it'll be fixed. No more pump fake blocks.
He has been atting us on Twitter, though, so I've got to give him some credit, because before that, he was tagging everyone else in the world apart from us. So now I feel like I've made it.
Yeah. I'm going to put it on my resume. Tagged by Croc on X. I'll be set then for life.
Yes.
Mate, we didn't get to game 3, so this was game 2. This wrapped up this series. Ruthless take it out. Ruthless go on to the big grand final. Now, let's talk next game. No Way Out Nexi, man. This was upset of the year. I'd probably call it. But in saying that, take nothing away from what Exy did in this series.
They were unbelievable. So before we start talking about the scores and who did well, these two teams are 2 of the 4 most informed teams of the competition and have been for such a long time. So I, like you, I was switching between No Way Out and Exy, watching all 3 games. And at any one stage, they had 350 people watching both streams. Like it was going off, people commenting everywhere, people really engaged with what was going on. And it's exactly what we want to see in the 2K community. So let's keep that up, guys.
Love that. That's exactly what you want, and the exposure you want from for the server is guys hopping in, getting involved in the chat. You know, we've got a lot of players from the ANZPL that were in the chat as well, having a chat and getting involved in it. So love that kind of stuff.
100%. So game 1 saw something that I'd honestly never seen happen in this game, and it's NWO getting blown out, with NWO winning this one by 13 after being in front 28-15 at halftime. As we can see here, no one from No Way Out scoring in double figures. I wouldn't be able to remember the last time that's ever happened. But then we look at Exie below, Jay Cheng 14-7, Dollar 15-2, not exactly his best shooting performance, but still 15 points. Matty V 11 on 60% from three. Again, Ryland 0 points, but him and Matty just controlled the defensive end.
It's very clear, isn't it, that Ryland's role in this squad is purely defensive, which is exactly what you need from an anchor. You know, he'll hit his shot if he gets his opportunity, but it doesn't seem like they need him to.
No.
But full credit to Matty, you know, he's the one guarding ball. So he's the one guarding delay through this whole game. And to keep this squad that's probably one of the best defensive squads in the competition to everybody under 8 points is wild. That is insane. So well done to these guys. And shout out to Dollar as well, who led the scoring. It looks like a lot of volume scoring from him. He's taking the 13 shots as opposed to then 9 and under. So he's the guy. And we saw that for the back end of the series too, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. So we'll see in game two. Both teams took control at certain stages throughout this one. Exie held a 1 point lead at halftime. Then NWO held a 1 point lead at three-quarter time. This one, to no surprise, ended up being tied at the end of the fourth and going to overtime, where Exie's defense took over for a 48-42 win. Jay Cheng in this one, 0 points, but 9 helpers, was instrumental in setting his team up. Dollar with 22 leading the way points-wise for Exie. Again, Matty and Ryland working really well together in the pick and roll. Lachlan has a really nice midi too. He's got that nice pop where I think he's got next to nothing for a three ball, but he pops right out near the 3-point line, and he is green.
Correct me if I'm wrong here. I would say what the meta center at the moment in the ANZPL would be that diming mid-range threat. So majority of people have got a really nice midi, a real nice post fade, and they've got that midi that they can pop to. But obviously, if you're using an inside center, most of the time you're just expecting a pick and roll. And if you can pop to the mid-range, you're pretty fucking lethal, aren't you?
It helps a lot. Yes, it just gives your PG or shooting guard, whoever's got the ball and controlling the offense, just another, I guess, weapon in the arsenal to go to late in the shot clock even.
And especially when you got when everybody plays in a zone, don't they, defensively? So you can really break that zone with a popper that can drop into the mid-range.
100%. Yep.
Game three.
Game three saw much the same as game two, with this one being close the whole way. NWO holding a 1 point lead at halftime before Exie used the premiership quarter to outscore NWO by 8 to take a 7 point lead into three-quarter time. From here, it was back and forth, with NWO tying this one up late before Exie came through at the goods, winning this one 49-45 and taking the series 3-0. No one really stood out on either side of the ball, with everyone doing their bit here. So as we can see with Exie here, Jay Cheng 13-7. When you're talking from an assist point of view, really consistent this series. Dollar again 16. Lachlan 6 of 6 for 12 points, really doing his bit. Ryland again only 3 points, but again, him and Matty defensively really good. Matty really teetering on the edge with his fouls. I think there was a couple of games with 5 fouls and this game with 4 fouls. Loves a reach, but you know what? Credit to him. He does the job well. Down below, Delay, Harry, Golden Dunk, all 10 and 11 points. Chris Stapps inside playing on Moners, 14-7, but just wasn't enough.
Yeah. It's an upset, but mark my words, I genuinely feel like this grand final was probably going to be one of the better grand finals in terms of matchups that we're going to see in the ANZPL. Like Exie have played incredibly well all year. They deserve to be there, and it's very clear they're beaten probably what would call the championship favourites, I guess, from the start of the season anyway. So well done to these guys. That's awesome. So, mate, shout out to the Standard Squeeze. Very quickly, we need to give these guys a shout out because they've been on board from day one for the pod. I've got my little 4-in-1 here. I've got a little bit of wine in it tonight, actually. A little bit of red wine.
Man.
Get a little bit fancy. But no, you can go to the website, standardsqueeze.com, and use the code INSIGHT15. It'll give you 15% off. You can go and check out their stuff. They've got a ton of stuff. We're wearing their shirts at the moment. I know Mick's got his shirt on as well. My microphone's blocking.
Yes, sir.
Mine, actually.
And the hat.
And the hat. I haven't got my hat. I've got my Charlotte Hornets hat on tonight, Mick. Do you like it?
Do you go for the Charlotte Hornets?
I do, actually. Yeah.
Hey.
Now I changed my team from the Atlanta Hawks yet just today. But yeah, you can get their 4-in-1s, these things. You've got behind Mick, if you're watching on, or you have to be watching on YouTube. You can see his little combo pack there. It gives you a perfect 30 ml pour. So if you're traveling or if you want to go away, you don't want glass bottles or anything like that, they're perfect. It's food grade quality plastic as well. We're giving away these to the player of the week each week throughout the regular season as well. So you're going to get a pack of these if you do well. And mate, if you need to drive, of course you don't want to drink and drive. It gives you an idea on how much you've had, right?
It does. 100%. You know exactly how much you've had each time.
So nice and safe, responsible drinking, of course. So standardsqueeze.com.
Yeah. Drop inside 15% off. But also, thanks to the guys at the Standard Squeeze, we are going to be giving away prize packs to the MVP of the league, the finals MVP, and the defensive player of the year. So again, thanks to the guys at the Standard Squeeze. Those results will be in our grand final show, which we'll speak about later.
Yeah, cool. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be fun. Everybody's probably been going, where's the player of the week the last 2 weeks? Like, we haven't given a player of the week, but it's coming. We've got some cool stuff planned for the winners of the awards. Mm-hmm. Mate, let's talk Ruthless versus Exy, because this is going to be a cracker matchup. Now, how do you see this one playing out? What do you see as a series score? And I'll hold you to it.
Please do. 3-2, Ruthless.
Ooh. Oh, I love a 5-game series. Okay.
Yeah. I think this one. Yep. I think this is going to be really tight. Give me your. I'm going to
say 3-1 Ruthless.
Okay.
3-1. Yeah. I don't think it goes to 5. But hey, I've been wrong a million times before.
Yeah. Well, I've only been right for the first time in my life recently. So there's always a time.
How does it feel? Does it feel good?
Got a bit of a chub, to be honest with you, but here we go. So here we are, Ruthless versus Exy. So from the Ruthless point of view, DQ, Dennis, previous MVP of the league, previous finals MVP, really nice point guard. RP from MKD at the sharp spot. Gideon, who was voted as one of the premier locks in the competition. Fernandez, a nice little anchor there. And Farage, who's one of the better centers in the competition. How do you see this team lining up against Exy when, remember, they've just knocked off one of the best teams to grace the Australasian servers in no way out, 3-0. You've got Jay Cheng and Dollar at the 1 and the 2. Matty V on lock. Ryland, who for me, he could go close to winning MVP, even though he's not scoring points. And Lachlan at the center spot.
I mean, I said 3-1 Ruthless, but I didn't say it convincingly. I think the determining factor in this series is going to be Matty on lock for Exy. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to play a really big role, but I think also then when we're talking Ruthless, Dennis needs to lead the way for them. I think if Dennis has a quiet game or if Matty ends up locking Dennis up, we could see an upset. We could seriously see an upset. Mm-hmm. I think those two determine the series, if I'm completely honest. Farage obviously has a massive part to play in this as well. Dennis and Farage combo there, I think, are going to potentially do the business. I feel like maybe they're going to be a little bit too good here, but throw that challenge out to Matty to see if he can keep Dennis quiet, because I think that might be the difference.
There you go. The heat's on. The heat is on. So for you, 3-1 Ruthless. For me, it'll be 3-2 Ruthless. But we've been known to be wrong before, so... I mean, I'm sure we'll hear about it if Matty ends up winning it, and we'll get some love mail via Twitter.
Maybe he'll jump in our chat. That'd be fun.
Oh, wouldn't it be?
I'd enjoy that.
Yeah.
Finals MVP, who's it going to be? You said you said Ryland MVP. Who takes out Finals MVP? You've predicted that Ruthless win. Do you think it's a Ruthless player?
Yeah, I do.
I think Farage takes it out. That's my prediction. Farage Finals MVP.
Yeah, I think with Ruthless, if they're going to win, it'll be Dennis. So he's my pick for Finals MVP. Ryland is the non-flashy pick because he just does such a good job on the defensive end that it often gets overlooked when, especially us on this show, we talk about stats, we talk about figures, we talk about influences on the game, but he doesn't need to touch the ball to have such a big influence on this game. No one ever scores big scores against Exy. because of the way that he plays the lanes. So I think he's going to play well. For me, I like defense, so I see him in the upper echelon of players in the 2K community. But yeah, I think Dennis, if Ruthless is to win, he'll be Finals MVP.
There's our predictions. Let's see how close we get. And look, we'll get better at these as we go. Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching. No, most of the time I don't get because we record so often and we record different shows. We do BBL, we do a bit of NBA. We don't get the chance to watch every game in depth. We probably pop into a Twitch chat for 30 minutes or so and watch maybe one game of the 3-game series. But I'm going to tune into all 5 because what's the special news that we've got coming up for the grand final?
That the Insight Fantasy Sports podcast team will be the first outlet to televise and commentate the ANZPL Grand Final Series this season. How exciting. So we've had people reach out to us from the States. We've had people reaching out to us from overseas, wanting to know about our community, about our season or your season that you've been running, that you guys have been playing in. They're keen to watch this. So we're excited to be able to showcase Exy and Ruthless to the rest of the world. How cool is this?
Yeah, I'm pumped. I'm really looking forward to it. I love 2K. I love 2K. Yeah. And look, I'm not as talented anywhere near as these guys, but I love talking about it. I love playing it. I love trying to get better. And I think, being able to kind of commentate or talk about a grand final matchup like this at this quality is going to be awesome. So, and I think it's also something that the people want. We're going to also, correct me if I'm wrong here, Mick, you've been organising this, but we're going to get some guests in throughout the commentary as well?
Yes, we certainly are. So some premier players from teams that haven't made the finals that are prominent players within this community. They'll be jumping on for 5 to 10 minutes to talk about their experiences with the 2K, their finals predictions, what they see happening, and just a bit of an insight, I guess, from a player's point of view, instead of you guys just having to listen to the big horse and Braino each week.
Which is fine. You can do that. We do okay. Oh. But you want to hear from the guys that are playing each week, don't you? Absolutely. So I'm looking forward to having a chat with these guys, getting their insights on what they've seen from this season and their predictions for next season, who they think is going to take out the finals and things like that. So we'll throw some spicy stuff at them as well, I think.
That sounds good.
But, mate, we've got plenty of exciting stuff to come, but that wraps up this episode. We've come to the end of it. We've talked conference finals. We've talked semi-finals. We've talked the best players. We've gone through the scorecards. But, guys, don't forget to subscribe because we're going to be coming to you every single week. We'll be doing our best, and I've got to work out how to do this, but we'll be going live and we'll be commentating the grand final whenever that is set up to be played. So hit subscribe, hit like, hit the little notification bell as well so that you get the notification when we do go live because we're going to be talking through all things grand final live that night. Hop in the chat, have a bit of a chat with us.
Absolutely. We want people to commentate. We want people to throw stuff in the chat so we can bring it up while we're talking through the game. And when we get our special guests on, we will reveal who they are. You may have questions for these guys. So we want to know what you guys want to know about these guys. We'll throw it out to them.
That's it. I'm looking forward to it. Mate, that wraps us up. Any final words, Big Horse?
No, looking forward to it, brother. Let's get it on.
Let's do it. Stay tuned. We'll let you know when the live is, and obviously you guys are going to know when the grand final matchup is. We'll probably go live a little bit beforehand to have a bit of a chat before the match starts. So keep an eye out. Otherwise, you've been listening to an Insight NBA 2K show. We will see you on the weekend.